The Northwestern Wildcats coming off a year which saw them a little bit riddled by injuries, ended up missing the NCAA tournament after making the previous two, played a ton of close games. Brooks Barnhizer, probably the headliner in terms of those injured players, still ended up being a second-round pick in the NBA. But Nick Martinelli, the Big Ten's leading scorer, comes back. They've got a very talented freshman class and several transfers they are very excited about as well. The head coach of the Wildcats, Chris Collins, joins us now. And before we talk about this year's team, I mentioned Brooks Barnhizer getting drafted, despite the fact he essentially missed half the year with an injury. Was really there are only very few games that he was truly himself last year. But what did it mean to the program to have him drafted as first guy at Northwestern who's been drafted?
I mean, it means a lot because when you're building a program, there's a lot of things you want. You know, it starts with building a culture and then being competitive, and then can you be postseason relevant? And those are all things, as it's taken time we've been able to do. But we hadn't had a guy drafted. And to be able to hear his name called, not only called, but go to Oklahoma City, you know, a championship team who values winning and all the things that we try to be about. I think it's a huge step forward for us, for future guys to see, man, I can go there and get all those things and still be an NBA player.
It feels like a deeper team this year than you've had in the past. Is that accurate, and what does that mean for you in terms of how you're going to play?
I think so now, and I think every coach says that in October, so I want to temper it a little bit. But throughout the course of the summer and through the preseason, we just have more guys, you know, that are capable of doing things. I really like our talent. We're more athletic than we've been. We have more players on the perimeter, you know, that can come in. I think we have quickness and speed in the backcourt to be able to play a little bit faster. Our tempo has always been relatively slow. I'd like to be able to pick up the pace a little bit. You know, certainly we're still going to play through Nick, and rightfully so, but I'm excited to see how it's going to transpire. I mean, when you have 8 new guys, it all looks good in practice, but until we get out in games and you start putting things together. And I think for me it's going to be interesting because I've always played kind of a short bench, and that's been what we've had. And now can we get 9-10 guys into a game and be comfortable with it? And that's what I want to do.
I want to bring up Nick. I mean, unbelievable story. You know, going to Elon first and then you guys, and then but his development to be the leading scorer in the Big Ten. I mean, that not everybody does that.
His work habits are incredible, Coach. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past this guy. I mean, he never ceases to amaze me. He's just one of these guys. And it doesn't look pretty, as you know. I call him the flippers. You call him the flipper doodles. It never looks pretty, but it's 20-something in the bank every night. And it's not only that, but it's like competitiveness, toughness, team play, you know, do whatever your team needs to win. And just so happy for him because there's no one who's in the gym more. I mean, anyone who thinks they work hard, try to do a day in the life with Nick Martinelli. I mean, that's what he's about, his drive, his passion. And you love to see it pay off when guys put that kind of time in, and to see him become one of the elite players in this conference. It's been fun to be a part of his journey.
I know you want to play a little faster. You said, a little better depth. But your defense has been really, really good. There's no doubt about it. Defense is about pride, but it's about habits. And you had older guys that were in the program, and those habits came over time. Can you do it again with this group?
I hope so. Like you said, I mean, we had a core group of guys together the past 3 or 4 years that understood the defense and we were aggressive and we were tough and we were in our spots. We were disciplined, and it made it hard to score against us. And even though we have more offensive firepower, we got to be that same level of defensive team. That's a staple in our program, and that's something, if we want to be successful this year, we're going to have to be a really sound, good defensive team.
I want to ask you a little bit about your freshmen. And one of the things that you've made clear is in building a program, you still want to invest in young players. You want to recruit. Yes. You want to use the portal to supplement what you're doing, but that the core of your identity is going to be really good young players. There is a ton of excitement over some of these young guys. Tyler Kropp had an unbelievable summer leading the under-19s in scoring for the entire tournament. Trey Singleton, I know, is incredibly highly thought of. You got Jake West, who's a point guard, who I know you're excited about. Give people a sense for this freshman and the degree to which they can contribute.
Yeah, we're really excited about this class. You hit it on the head. In the day and age of portal, I want to stay true to what's made us successful. I mean, you look at the reason we've been good the last couple of years, it's because Ty Berry and Boo Booey and Chase Audige and Brooks Barnheiser and Nick Martinelli and Matt Nicholson, and they stayed and they played together and they went through some wars and they had their ups and downs and they figured out how to win. And we want to stay true to that and find the guys that fit us, bring young guys in and throw them out there and develop them. And I think this class has a chance to do some special things in their career. I always temper expectations on freshmen because I know how hard the Big Ten is. But I think we have a group of guys that they're about the right things. They're gym rats. They want to get better. They're good players. They're very talented. And I think you're going to see, a handful of those guys make a serious impact on our team this year, which will be exciting.
What about the transfers? And real quick, just how do you feel about them? Who's a key? And also your environment at your home environment has been unbelievable. It's been so good.
Well, we got 3 portal guys that really fit needs. That's what we try to do with the portal, really address needs. The point guard position was huge. Last year, Jalen Leach was kind of a combo guard, not a really good player. But bringing in a Jaden Reed from South Florida, true point guard, can pressure the ball, can push the ball, get into the paint. I think he'll make a big impact. Max Green from Holy Cross can really shoot it. He's a weapon on the floor, 6'7". Really excited what he can bring. And Arrington Page, to me, may be one of the biggest X factors on our team. 6'11", really talented player in his third situation now as a junior. And we're going to need him to bring a high level of play on the front line in order for us to be good. And Welsh Ryan has become great, man. It brings a tear to my eye every time I think about it because Dave knows some of those days. But now to walk into that gym and to see the environment, it's become a tough place to play, and we got to keep that going. It's been fun to be a part of it.
Okay, last question for you. We're a little pressed on time, but we have a tradition where I ask every year who your breakout player is going to be, and you have nailed it 3 years in a row. Last year you said Nick Martinelli ended up leading the Big Ten in scoring. You had Brooks one year. You had Ty Berry, who ended up having a great year before he got hurt the year that you were talking about. So who's your breakout guy this year?
I've been under the gun. My family warned me last night. Revson's going to ask you. You're 3 for 3. And you know what's so cool about this team? Honestly, I don't know. And that's an honest thing. We have had a really good group of guys, and I'm really pleased with so many of the returning guys, the young guys. I think there's a number of candidates that can break out, and hopefully that's a positive and not a negative. But I really think that people are going to enjoy watching this group. It's a good group. Nick's going to lead us, and I'm excited to see what we can build.
That's a good non-answer.
Yeah. Chris I plead the fifth.
Yeah, Chris has a future in politics if and when he decides. Hey, this is great. Always enjoy it, and best of luck this year.
Thanks, guys.
That is Chris Collins, the head coach of the Northwestern Wildcats. We look at the schedule ahead. Northwestern, some really interesting games in the non-conference this year. They play DePaul. That's a tradition, but you look at that tournament in 2 days, Virginia and South Carolina, really good games. Got Oklahoma State, part of a doubleheader on Thanksgiving at the United Center. Duke will be there as well. You've got a game against Butler in Indy, so some really good stuff. And then obviously you get into the meat of the Big Ten schedule, including those always anticipated games against the Fighting Illini, Andy.
Yeah, no question about it. And one thing that always happens with Northwestern is they don't get the respect that they deserve. And we've seen this before. And it was great that Brooks Barnheiser got drafted when he was hurt. He's obviously earning his way with Oklahoma City. Boo Booey, we never thought got the respect he deserves. Finally, maybe this man will. Nick Martinelli, preseason All Big Ten, returning all the best scorer in the league. It's your time. You're ready to shine. You have the mantle. How ready are you to take it from day one?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just super excited for this season. It's been a little bit of a change of pace with all the new guys coming in, and they got a ton of young energy, and having that has really motivated me. Getting to be a leader and step into that role. Only time will tell if I was ready to answer the call, but I'm putting my foot forward every single day. Every single practice, I'm not taking one for granted. I have that senior urgency. I have that that drive, and I'm extremely excited to get out and play this year.
Leadership is a key. Where do you fit in, Justin, as a veteran player?
Yeah, definitely. As a veteran player, being a senior, I obviously looking to, taking a bigger role this year, whether that's contributing offensively or, defensively. And like we mentioned, we got a lot of new young guys and young energy. We got transfers, so me and Nick, just being the seniors, we got to show them the culture and show them what our program is about.
And Justin, you, as a sophomore, you played 5 minutes a game at Northwestern your first year on campus. Last season, you all the way up at 23 minutes a game. And towards the end of the season, you got better and better. The confidence started oozing out. What clicked for you halfway through last season that allowed you to finish the way you did?
I would say definitely Coach Collins and my teammates. He spoke a lot of confidence into me as the season kept going. He just kept pushing me to, contribute more on that offensive end, believe in my abilities. And keep working, so that's what I continue to do this offseason, spring and the summer, working on my game and just letting my teammates, keep giving me energy, keep fueling me to become the best player I could be.
Coach didn't want to answer. You couldn't hear this about who could be sort of the next sort of unsung guy or the next breakout guy. Trey Singleton, though, does come in with a lot of hype. High-profile freshman for Northwestern. If you can quickly just tell us what you've seen on the court thus far that fans are going to see when you guys start playing.
Yeah, that kid, I mean, he's really, really good. And the one thing that strikes me about him is he loves the game. It gives me a lot of flashes of kind of how me and Brooks carried ourselves, when we were here. He just loves to play the game. He loves everything about it, and he respects the game. He's always there in the training room early. He acts like a veteran. And I definitely think if you're asking me about if I'm ready to go, he's ready to go.
I got to agree with Nick, man. Like all the hype, I see it. He's a great freshman. He does all the little things that Nick talks about. And when you do that type of stuff as a freshman, it's very scary, to think about where he's going to be, as a senior or, wherever he ends up at. But he's a great player. I've seen it since day one, and I believe there's a lot of great things coming for Trey.
I appreciate you guys. As always, do not undervalue the Northwestern Wildcats. They are going to pull some upsets and be in the mix